Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Allie, and today I'm going to be talking about something very, very personal to me and special to me. And obviously, as you can tell by the title of the video, yes, I am pregnant. I wanted to make this video just basically to just share like my story about basically how my boyfriend and I found out. So this obviously goes way back before finding out. So I met my boyfriend in August of 2015, and this is gonna sound so mushy. Like, when I met him for the first time, I literally just thought he was the most like handsome person I'd ever seen ever, and I was like, wow, like, he's so cute. He asked for my social media and I followed him back and we messaged, and I gave him my number after a couple of days. I didn't talk to him for about 2 weeks or so, and then he messaged me out of the blue and said he wanted to hang out again. So he calls this a date. I still am not 100%, but basically he asked to take me out. So we went to the lakefront where I live, and we walked around for hours and basically like, got to know each other a little bit. And the first time, that day was the first time I kissed him, or he kissed me, and that's when I just knew, okay, like, I like him, like, it's set in stone now. So because we went to the same school, our schedules perfectly aligned out well. So it was just a coincidence that our schedules like matched perfectly to the point that we could see each other for hours on end at school. So basically for all of my third year, I saw him and got to know him and everything, and got to like him more and more and more and more every day. And then finally on April 27th, 2016, he asked me out. If you guys want to know more about, like, in more detail about how we met, comment below and ask, and I'll make a story time about meeting my boyfriend for the first time. When we first started dating, I decided to go on birth control just for protection reasons, of course. We're going to put you on this pill brand called Lolo, and it's the lowest dosage that he could possibly provide me. It was a 10 or 11 mcgs. So I took that and it was completely fine. So why I stopped taking my birth control was because my cycle wasn't regular. I could never tell when my period was because before taking my birth control, if I had ever, when I was about to get my period, I'd get cramping. And then my first 3 days of my period, I'd have cramping. And it'd be very, very heavy, and then after it'd be fine. And that's also one of the symptoms that I had kind of with my birth control, where I would have cramping, I'd bleed a lot, and whatever. So I never really knew which one was which. So I basically stopped my birth control to regulate my period again, so that way when my period was regular, then if I wanted to go back on birth control, that I would find another pill that would hopefully not give me the same symptoms as the Lolo did. So I stopped around the beginning of July. Sorry, I'm looking at my calendar. Either the first or second week of July, but I know I stopped in July. It was very, very weird for me because, again, like, if I ever, and I don't know if this goes for anybody else, but for me, whenever I would miss taking my pill, or if I was a few minutes late from taking the pill on the time I was supposed to, I knew I was going to bleed a day or two after. So when I stopped my birth control, I didn't bleed, I didn't cramp, nothing. Then August comes around, and I was assuming I was going to get my period around August 6th, 7th, around that time, the second week of August. So I waited and it didn't come. Then I waited a couple more days, it still didn't come. So then I texted one of my good friends, shout out to Priska, and I screenshotted her a picture of my app that shows like how late I was, and it was about 9 days. She's like, when we hang out tomorrow, you're taking a test. So the next day, went out shopping and she bought a test for me. So I went to the bathroom and I took it. For me, the negative line was very noticeable, but there's another line going down. So I will show you, and I also will insert a picture in case you can't see. But it was like that, and I was like, oh shit. So then I showed it to her, and she's like, we have to go take another test. So we were closest to a dollar store, and I have taken dollar store tests before, and they were accurate. So And it was also the closest place that I knew had a pregnancy test. So I went there, and this test, it says C or T. So if you have just a C, it's negative. If you have a C and a T, it's positive. So for this one, the C line that you see obviously is very noticeable, but the T line is faint, but it's more noticeable than the other one. So when we both saw this, I also called my boyfriend, let him know what was going on, and he's like, go to the walk-in clinic and take a pee test. So I then went to the walk-in clinic the next day or so, and I told the doctor what was going on, and he said, okay, like, go pee in a cup, and we'll go take the test for you. And it said it was just all negative. Like, there was no positive lines showing, there was no faintness, it was completely negative. And he said, maybe it's a bit too early, but if you want, you can go get blood work done. So I waited about a week and a half after to get my blood work done because I did get very sick. I was nauseous, and I had a very bad cold and a head cold. When I felt better, I went, and they had told me they have this new thing where you can check your results online. So I registered the next day to see if my results came in, and they did. And I didn't understand them. So I sent a screenshot of it to my boyfriend, and he was like, babe, you're pregnant. And I was like, no, I'm not. Because it says I'm not, and I will insert a picture right here so you can see. So it says for my results, it's about 53,983. So I was even looking at that. I was looking right underneath it where it said female not pregnant, and I completely thought that was me. Sorry. And I was like going back and forth with him. I said, no, I'm not. And he's like, but you are. Like, what's the 53,943 mean? I was like, I don't know, but it says not pregnant. It has to be me. So then I said, you know what? I'm just going to call my doctor and speak to my receptionist and ask her if she could tell me what the results mean. So I called my receptionist, and I told her, I said, I think I'm pregnant. I got blood work done yesterday. I got my results in, and I don't really understand. Do you think you could just tell me? She said, yeah, of course. Let me pull up your record. Pulled it up and told me within 10 seconds, like, you're pregnant. And I was like, what? She's like, you're pregnant. And I literally said, holy shit. So she said, take a little bit of time, think about what you want to do, and then call us back. So I said, okay, fine. So I called my boyfriend back, and I let him know. And he said, I already knew you were pregnant. So we both decided that we're going to keep it and become parents. So we decided first to tell our close friends or people that we knew that weren't going to judge us first before talking to our families about it, because we literally expected the worst from both of our families. So I told a few of my closest friends or people that I believe weren't going to judge me, and he did the same thing. It wasn't until September 5th, I believe, where I told my family. One of my closest friends, shout out to Val, he offered to come over for moral support when I decided to discuss it with my family. So he's very close with my family, so that's why I knew that they weren't going to, if they were going to freak out, they weren't going to, like, you know, lash out at me because he was there and whatever. But at the same time, too, because he's close with them, I knew they wouldn't really care. So I told my younger brother first, just because he was just there, and I'm like, you know what, let me just tell him. So I told him, and I said, Jalen, I have to talk to you about something very important. He was like, what? I said, it's very, very important. He said, what, are you pregnant? And I said, yes. And he said, no, you're not. I said, I am. And he said, what do you mean? So I showed him my results, and I explained it to him. And he was like, oh my God, you're pregnant. And he said, okay, how far along are you? And I told him, I said at that time I was 4 to 5 weeks, as my receptionist told me. And he was like, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. It's just, you know, I have to tell mom and dad and everything. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, I'm going to be an uncle. That's great. And he was very, very, like, excited. And he still is very excited and supportive, which is nice. And I knew that he'd be very excited and supportive about it. So that was very, very nice. Then I decided to tell my mom and my grandma together, and then my dad last, because he was the person that I was most nervous to tell, because I am his only daughter. So I told my mom and my grandma. I told them to come upstairs. They came. My mom was on the phone with Rogers trying to fix the internet or something, and she was on hold, and I said, like, I need to tell you now, because at that point I was literally just so anxious and I was so tired of waiting. I wanted to just get it off my chest. So she's like, what, are you going to tell me you're pregnant or something? And I said, and then she was like, if you're playing a joke on me, this is not the time for no joke. And I said, no, like, I'm being serious. And she, like, her eyes started to water. My grandma's face looked super, super, like, puzzled. And then she's like, you're pregnant? And I was like, yeah. So then she got off the phone with Rogers, and then she's like, how far along are you? So I told her I was 4 to 5 weeks, and she said, okay. She said, how does Nick feel about it? And I said, Nick's supportive. He's very, very excited. My mom actually was very, very supportive, and she said, no, like, we're going to help you. We're going to be here for you when you need anything, and everything will be okay. And I told her that I plan on moving out because I just didn't want to be a burden to anybody. And she said, no, you're going to stay until, like, you can actually, like, afford to, like, you know, properly, like, move out and be, like, on your feet and on your own. You're going to stay here, and we're going to find a way for you to have this baby here and have a space for you and your family. And I said, okay. She asked why I didn't go to her first, because if you know me, you know, like, my mom is, like, one of, like, my best friends. So she was surprised that I didn't think to go to her first, and I said I was very scared to tell you. And she was like, why? I'm like, because I didn't want you to, like, react very negative and, like, be disappointed in me and, like, kick me out. And she's like, I would never do that because I was there when I had you, because my mom was pregnant with me at 19 and gave birth to me when she just turned 20. So she completely understood, like, how it would make me feel, and did not want to make me feel how other people at that time made her feel. So she got it. My grandma was kind of just in shock and, like, didn't talk to me about it after that and just left, which actually, like, really bothered me, because out of everybody I thought she was going to react the best, besides, like, my brother, and I thought my parents were going to react the worst. They really didn't. When it came to telling my dad, my mom called him inside, and I said, Dad, like, I will think you should sit down. He said, why? I said, because I have to tell you something. He said, I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to stand up. I said, okay. My mom started talking to him, and she's like, you know, what Alyssa's about to tell you, you know, she wants to obviously tell you on her own because she thinks that it's obviously, like, the right thing to do to tell you on her own. So he's like, what, is she pregnant? And then I said yes, and I explained the story to him and everything about, like, going to the doctors and whatnot. And he was just trying to make it seem like, he's like, he's somewhat trying to make it seem like my life was going to end. He said, you know, it's going to be very hard. I said, I know, but, you know, I'll make it work. And he didn't yell at me or anything like I thought he was going to, which was, again, good, because I thought the absolute worst. Currently, right now, I actually found out, so today I'm actually 8 weeks pregnant. I did get my first ultrasound a couple days ago, and I will insert a picture of my little peanut. I am very, very appreciative, and I'm also very appreciative of my boyfriend as well, because he's being very, very supportive and understanding through this time, because, of course, like, my moods and my hormones are obviously changing, and I'm emotionally probably going to be unstable, but he's being very sweet, and I really, really appreciate that. You know, he takes the time out of his day to, like, he thanks me for making him a father, and thanks me for being a good girlfriend, and he definitely makes sure that I feel very special every day. So I just really, 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 really love him, and I really do thank God every day for him, and I thank God that he is going to be the father of either my son or my daughter, and it makes me very, very excited that we're both tackling this together, and we're both willing and ready to be new parents. So it's very, very exciting. If my app is correct, it will probably be May 28, 19. I am not sure when I'm going to be having my gender reveal. It probably will be either, like, November, December, unfortunately. Very far away. But I'm very, very excited, and I can't wait to show and share my pregnancy journey with everyone, and just so you guys can keep up with me and just see how I am doing, how my family is doing, and just to see the growth of my child and the steps and the process into bringing him or her into the world. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my pregnancy vlogs and just updates from me on my pregnancy, then click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can get the notification whenever I do upload. And let me know again also in the comments below if you would like me to tell my story time of how I first met my boyfriend. And yeah, so until the next vlog, bye guys.